and maybe not necessarily teach it in a sense that my steps are the blueprint, you know what I'm saying? Because it could be customized and it could be different for different people. But at least here's my story, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is how I overcame this. This is how I overcame that. And so one good thing about you on your journey is you're still, you know what I'm saying, like getting to those levels of success that you've defined as success for yourself. You're already stepping into the role of sharing your story, sharing your experience and knowledge and wisdom. And so, you know what I mean? So that's what's up. So now you came out with the clothing line, which again, you went somewhere, somebody was like, man, that's nice.
Yeah.
How much you selling that for?
Yeah, I ain't have a price.
Ain't even thinking about that.
Like, I don't even know.
And literally that's how it be. Like even with a lot of stuff that I do, like if I don't have confidence in like selling it, like, you know, I created it or I create this because this is important to me. I like it or whatever. And then somebody was like, oh, how much would you charge to do this video? How much would you charge to do this live stream? How much you like? It took me a while. Like, man, I'm
That's when you go home and research some stuff and say, okay, let me make me a paradigm so I can follow it and say, okay.
And for me, it wasn't even researching what anybody else was charging. Like, I had to figure out, because for me, it's like, it's not about money, it's about my time. And especially as a man who has kids now, and being 38, it's more like.
Why you keep saying that?
What?
Like you old.
I'm 38.
Whatever.
I was old before I got here. You know what I'm saying? My third or fourth time here. Listen, but just, you know, just being realistic about how much time a black man typically has. It's just like, okay, I need some of my time back. 38 years working for, you know, or being in this life doing what other people want you to do and trying to meet everybody else's expectation. That's a long time. I don't care what nobody say. 38 years of this shit. Been working since I was 16. That's a long time.
Just imagine working on yourself for 38 years. Working on a goal for 38 years. It don't take that long. So, you know, doing that. But then it's when you look at the life expectancy, like you say, of us. For me, that shit was daunting coming home from prison. Because I'm like, man, what if I don't have as much time in life left that I just did? So it was like, I'm finna start the car up, put the foot on the gas, and we go. So well, I'm glad I definitely understand that, man.
I'm so glad that whatever you know what I'm saying, like, you know, been through and did and all other stuff, it didn't keep you from us. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but you know though, like, you know what I say, find that thing. That's my frame of reference. It wasn't prison. It was the lack of opportunities, the lack of options, the lack of being able to network with viable people who could assist on my journey. Like, it was the lack of all of that.
Yes, sir.
And when I got out, and none of the lack was there, now it's on me. You know, see, I always say that, you know, we got physical barriers in prison or in some other situation to where we find ourselves the most driven and the most ambitious and the most hungry when we want to, you know, when you trying to get to what you want to get to. But then when those physical barriers are gone, it's really on you.
Right.
So you get out of it what you put into it. For a lot of people, that's overwhelming. It's intimidating and it's too much to deal with. They like, man, they clam up, fuck it. You know, you find people who are going through the most difficult struggle who have the highest belief in God or the highest belief in whatever. Once times are good, it's like, I don't need that shit no more, man. You know what I'm saying? So
it's the commitment ain't the same.
Exactly. Perfect, I mean, it's the same thing with, you know, being confined. It's like, dog, once I get out of here, man, I'm going to do this. So my only challenge was harnessing that or reharnessing the same ambition and the same drive and the same will to get there once the fences and the walls and shit was gone.
Did you have that? Did you have like a plan or a mindset of what you was going to do before you even got out?
Yeah, hell yeah. It was a checklist for me.
Okay,
it was a checklist.
Because I imagine that for some people, you know, that spend a lot of time, because you spent a lot of time away, you know what I'm saying? It's like, man, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do when I get out, this and the other. And maybe they stayed in touch with reality through radio, through friends, through family or whatever. But I think for, you know, I come from an era where, like, there ain't a man in my family that ain't been to jail. You know what I'm saying? Like,
especially being here.
Right. And so I'd have been locked up, been arrested a few times and spent a little time away, but nowhere in comparison to you. You know what I'm saying? So my point is, but I understand that from even some of my relatives getting out, they automatically, before they even get out, they had this mindset of, I have no idea what I'm going to do.
I had all ideas. So I said, fuck this.
So they come out doing either nothing, you know what I'm saying, or you know what I'm saying, just going back so easily, getting comfortable.
Yeah, it's like
you know
it
what I'm
happens.
saying?
It's one or two ends of the spectrum. You either gonna do like what you just talked about or described, or do what I described. But for me, I had to. There's a saying: if you want to get somebody to do something, tell them they can't do it, right? Because people are naturally antagonists,
Right.
and they want to prove people wrong.
Right.
For me, I had to be known for something other than what I had been known for.
Right.
I'm like, that's just a phase. That was this half of my life.
Right.
You know, when you watch a movie, there's a crescendo. It's like, okay, the opening credits, and then the beginning, and then the plot builds, and then this happens, and then it ends. So that's how life is. It's the beginning, it's the quarter of it, it's the middle stages, and then bam.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I can't just keep doing this.
Right.
No.
Yeah, and I mean, then it was a young age. So it was like this one event now affected you for so many fucking years. Mm-hmm. So you didn't. I mean, well, you're a little bit different because you did while you're in there and you're developing and you're figuring all these things out, and so you kind of defined who you were and who you were going to be before you even got out here. But you know, I think there still is something to be said about how like a lot of shit was on pause for a long time. Just because of this one thing. You know what I'm saying that took place. So anyway, man, all of that getting us to so you Brad Facts, 3 Ps, power, purpose, and principle. Then coming out with the clothing line, and getting out, doing music. Yeah. You came out with at least 2 albums.
That's the third one.
Right, okay.
There's Facts of Life 1, Facts of Life 2, and then...
And I'm still upset that Facts of Life 1 has not been officially released.
It's nice. It's you know, it hasn't been
like fucking we just moving forward. We ain't finna go back. You know what I'm saying? And we put it out there on SoundCloud. Or just
man, I got to keep going, man.
And we just gonna keep going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got to keep going. I perform some of those songs sometimes, but it was. I'm in competition with myself, so I be like, I cringe sometimes when I hear certain things. Like I don't want to. Yeah. Nah. But people call for it though, so I just, a lot of my guys like, hey man, this song, that song. A lot of people say, hey man, what about Courage Under Fire? Or what was it? Oh yeah. Hustler's Ideology. I'm like, man, that's 2018, man. It feel like it was so long ago.
Can you do that joint you did in 2018? Like, no, bro, I don't even fuck with that nigga.
Yeah, it's like, it's so long ago. But that's my competition. I can do something better than that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm constantly trying to
better and better.
Get to that level, man. Yeah.
Now, this new album that you just dropped on May 3rd, before we even really get into it, like, what... Obviously, it's called Power, Purpose, and Principle.
Right.
And, of course, that's the 3 Ps. But was there something, like, had you already been thinking about doing an album called that, or just click one day, like, you know what, let me go ahead and get this out the way?
Yes and no. So ever since I was a kid, ever since I was about 11 or 12, I used to write down, I used to format. I've been obsessed with hip-hop forever. And... I used to write down, so I would go to the store, buy a CD. Back when everybody was going to the store buying CDs. I would go to the store, buy the CD, and I would turn it around, I put it in, and look at the back of it and go track for track. So I started to write down, I would format my albums like that, on paper though.
Yeah.
So I would take a paper, I had like 12 or 13 songs, I would take a piece of paper, and I write the name at the top of it, and I write track 1, track 2, track 3, down to whoever, you know what I'm saying? And I put the names, I put a skit, interlude, like I've been doing this for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And so by the time I hit the studio, was able to do it physically, it was, all I had to do was just do it, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, Nike.
Right, yeah, pretty much. So, Power, Purpose, and Principle was a mixtape series that I created in the joint about 15 years ago. Before I even came up with the idea of this being a thing in terms of 3 Ps. And it was just a mixtape series that I was doing that I would hit the yard with and niggas was loving. And then, you know, I was like, okay, this bam. I ain't never thinking about, okay, be powerful, be purposeful. None of that shit. It was just, man, it's all music. It's all based on music. But then I was looking for a title to my third project. I said, well, damn, it's the third one, the 3P, the 3 times the charm. It's 2023. I came home on the 3rd. Everything just seemed to make sense. I grew up on 23rd. Everything seemed to make sense. Yeah. I said, I can't go nowhere but the 3 Ps.
Right.
So I kind of went back in my head to 2008, 2009, 2010 when I was in the joint in my room trying to come up with the most outlandish shit and hit the yard with it and just wow niggas. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It was like, because every time somebody came to the joint who was rapping, they'd be like, hey man, you think he doper than Brad? Like it was that, like I was the barometer, you know what I'm saying? By which niggas measured dopeness in the joint at that time. I'm like, man, I ain't really, but I wasn't trying to be competitive, but hip hop by nature is a competitive sport. Yeah. So niggas was jumping yards, you know, and by jumping yards, I mean leaving their yard, coming over to mine or wherever else where they wasn't supposed to be, unassigned area type shit, to try to hear what I had going on. I'm like, what's happening? And it was like we had filled the tables up and filled the rec yard by the basketball courts up, and it was just rap all day for 3-4 hours, 5-6 hours. And it was that type of shit. Sometimes I smashed niggas, other times it was just a mutual respect that was gained. So when I got ready to do this project, I went back. And shout out to my homie Icon Verse, man, who was the executive producer, who picked a lot of them beats on there, man. I was like, dog, I'm glad you did, because it allowed me the creativity to kind of dig into what used to be there. I wasn't trying to find no hits. I wasn't trying to find no commercial records. It was just like, man, we finna take this pen, put it on paper, and make this shit happen like I used to. Yes, and that was the spirit of it. It was like, hey, I want to be aggressive. I want to be thought-provoking, creative, intuitive, and just overall me. Yeah. Because you can't do me like I can do me. I don't give a fuck who you are. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. And that was the spirit behind it. That's where No Plug came from. I tried to, because I did this video a while back about how, like, I was sitting at the barbecue one day, and Devon D was a Happy Day bar. Yeah, that's my boy. Shout out to Devon. And he had came from the back office. And for some reason, like, y'all know each other, but for some reason you said your name. I don't know why. I don't remember why it was. I just remember you saying your name. And then it was like 2 more occasions after that, you said your name. I was like, this nigga say his name the same way every time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think I remember even a song. It was like, I'm Brad, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Ordinary nigga. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, ordinary. Yeah, like, come on, man. And so I did this video on Facebook trying to mock you. You know what I'm saying? That was funny, dog. You silly, dog. I know I got a powerful voice. You know what I'm saying? But the point is, I can't do you like you could do you. But I'm going to tell you where that came from, though, bro. It came from me understanding how I should love myself and respect myself and think as highly of myself as I was taught to love, respect, and think highly of other people. Yes, sir. And a lot of times we go through situations, typically bad situations, that puts us in a position or a headspace to where we say, I'm finna start putting myself first. When really that's how it should have been anyway. Yeah. I can't help you if I ain't good. Right. I can't advise you if I need advice too. If I'm fucked up, I can't tell you, hey man, you should stop doing this if I'm doing it. Yeah. So once you get yourself together and you start to respect and love yourself and admire and cherish and honor yourself the way that you were taught to do those things to other people, then you can say your name or look in the mirror and be okay with what you see. You can do all of those things respectfully and with dignity. So, right. I mean, you just got me thinking about how you take a person. I've just known people, put it like this. I've known people who've rubbed elbows with us, you know, like in the community, and they see the accolades that certain leaders may get. You know what I mean? Like in the community. And these leaders are people who are just genuinely serving the community. Right. They done been through shit, you know what I'm saying, that have led them to a life where they feel like, I need to give back, I need to serve. And so the individuals I'm talking about see that and they feel like, man, I want the accolades,